Up Spider Society, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be checking out Ultimate Spider-Man. Meet Doc Ock. I'm excited to see this. You saw where we left off last time, so now we're about to see where we're about to head right now. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Universe, where things are similar, but they're a slightly tad off. A little different, if you would say. Almost like they were ultimate. It's time to continue our storyline of Ultimate Spider-Man with the first part of Volume 3. Welcome back to the Ultimate Universe, where things are similar, but they're a slightly tad off. A little different. Welcome back to the Ultimate Universe, where things are similar, but they're a slightly tad off. A little different, if you would say. Almost like they were ultimate. It's time to continue our storyline of Ultimate Spider-Man with the... Welcome back to the Ultimate Universe, where things are similar, but they're a slightly tad off. A little different, if you would say. Almost like they were ultimate. It's time to continue our storyline of Ultimate Spider-Man with the first part of Volume 3. Now, in our last video, Peter Parker began to accept himself as the city's new hero. After taking down Kingpin Wilson Fisk, Peter felt that he needed to tell someone who he was, and so he entrusted his childhood friend and admitted to Mary Jane that he was Spider-Man, and he couldn't have been happier. Over at the medical facility, two doctors begin to review their newest patient. They begin to try and decide whose turn it is to clean out Dr. Octopus's bedpan, when the man slowly begins to wake up. Otto Octavius asks, "Why would you call me that? My name is Otto." And a metal arm begins to rise as he shouts, asking, "Why did you call me that?" Meanwhile, over at Midtown High, Peter and the rest of his classmates head over to the school pep rally. Kong mentions that he's starting to think that their new...
Yo, is this guy like, a super senior? Because why you got a beard? Bro looks more like the gym coach than an actual student. Like, bro, are you here just to talk to the freshmen? Get your ass on here.
assignment of making a report on which superhero they would like to be seems pretty dumb, and everyone tells him that maybe it's him who's dumb. But Kong says that he's not so sure. All of these superheroes and mutants popping up. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe they should be watching out. Peter asks, "What do you mean?"
Look at bro here, bro. You cannot, hair on his arm, bald-headed, and a beard? Yeah, this nigga is not one of the... He's not a student, bro. FBI, open up.
By watch out, and Kong says that he's not sure. He just feels like there's gonna be some real trouble real soon. A voice then tells them that it's a meteor, and everyone looks over to see a blonde girl standing along the wall. She says that it's kind of like when the meteor wiped out the dinosaurs, except for them, they know it's coming. She goes on telling everyone that things will be fine, because in a sense, they all have superpowers in their own way, even if they're not superpowered or mutants. Kong asks, "Who are you?" And the girl tells him, Gwen Stacy. And it's her first day here, back over at the medical facility.
Nigga thinks she's so cool. Get your ass on. But I'll tell you who does look cool. This Dr. Octavius. Is it like fused? Or is that like the whole torso is like metal?
Otto Octavius begins to wake up, and Hank Pym sits on his bed telling him that it's good that he's awake, but it's time that they talked. He explains that there was an accident in Osborn Industries that left him in a coma for the last 3 months. Otto says that he doesn't really remember what happened, and as he tries to process it, he begins to feel the metal arms. He asks what have they done to him, and Hank goes on stating that during that accident, he suffered damage to his face and neck areas, but more notably, it seems that he was fused with his own mechanical harness. Though they're not sure as to how, the arms are locked into his central nervous system, and they react and function like normal arms. Otto Octavius leans up and shouts at them to take off his bandages, and as they slowly comes off, he sees the arms. Hank tells him that it could be a breakthrough with exciting possibilities. Perhaps they could work together. And Otto says that they found him like this. They could have taken this off of him, but they chose not to? Who do they think they are? Hank says that they can't say, but they are the United States government, and they can't really tell him where he is. The metal arms begin flailing, and one shoots through the chest of one of the other doctors.
Damn.
Otto then looks back over to Hank, demanding to know where he is. The next day at school, Kong comes to a conclusion that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Flash Thompson tells him that he's absolutely crazy, like completely crazy. But Kong says that it makes sense. That day in the field trip, Peter Parker got bitten by a spider, so he's Spider-Man. Just think.
My boyfriend and I have been arguing because he...
These ads. Get out of here with these ads, man.
about it, he broke a desk, he's super good at basketball now. That means that he's Spider-Man. Flash begins to laugh and Kong tells him, watch, he's gonna go kick Peter, and when he dodges it, that'll show everyone. Over at his locker, Peter's spider sense begins to go off, but instead of dodging it, he flat out takes the hit. In pain, Peter looks back asking, why would you do something like that? Through the crowd of students, a voice then asks what's their problem, and Gwen walks up to Kong, telling him that if he ever does that again, then everyone notices that Gwen's holding a knife.
Damn! She was about to murk that dude. That's actually crazy. Gwen, you a real one.
Teacher comes by asking what's going on, and as he gets through, Gwen drops the knife, obviously, because she doesn't want to get caught with it. The teacher then grabs Gwen by the arm and tells her that it's a great way to start her second day of school. Later, after school in the city, a man begins to...
It's crazy how nobody came in when he kicked Peter's ass. But the moment he sees a knife, now, your ass is in trouble now. We tolerate ass beatings, but we don't tolerate murder.
Run off after grabbing a woman's purse. The man tells everyone to watch it as he runs, and then suddenly, the purse is webbed out of his hand. Peter then jumps in, kicking the man, stating that feels better. He was looking for a...
Not gonna lie, bro. You broke bro's neck. Like, look at it. It's damn near upside down. He's never walking again.
Big bald guy.
But honestly, he never needs to walk. The only place he needs to walk to is a barber with this horsetail ass haircut, man.
And a knockout. The man tries to fight back, but Peter knocks him in the head and webs him to the ground. He then hops over, telling the woman that he brought back her purse. It was his pleasure to help. But everyone, including the woman who was robbed, just stare at him. She grabs the purse and begins to run off. And Peter begins to say to everyone openly, why can't a guy in his underwear just go around the city helping people without them thinking that he's crazy or something? Back as Peter looks around, he notices that he's in front of the Daily Bugle. J. Jonah Jameson is watching him. He asks if he's the guy who's been printing all of that garbage about him, just to sell papers. Because if so, he has one thing to say to him. He jumps up shouting, love it, it's hysterical, and he leaves. J. Jonah Jameson looks around and says that he thought Spider-Man was going to hit him. Maybe they should get back inside where it's safe. But as Jonah begins to move, he falls flat on his face with webbing covering his feet. Once inside, writer Ben Ulrich says that he got a lead on a recent murder on a woman in her home. The previous owner of the home was Dr. Otto Octavius. He explains that Otto was one of the chief scientists at Osborn Industries, one of the individuals that was thought dead during the explosion where Norman Osborn went missing. But he was in fact not dead. Sources state that Otto was taken to a government hospital somewhere in South Jersey, where he managed to escape. It's also said that
Never take him to Jersey, bro. Damn, that's worse than Rikers.
Otto was being observed because of complications in his condition brought on by the explosion. J. Jonah Jameson asks, what does he mean by complications? And Ben tells
Is that, Daredevil? I only say that because of the glasses.
him that he's unsure, but after what happened with Norman Osborn turning into the Goblin, it's safe to say that something fishy is going on. Jonah tells him it's okay, let's just assume that Otto killed the woman in her home. So the next question is, why? Ben says that no one would really know. Maybe he didn't expect her there when he went back to his old home, or maybe something horrible happened to him and he's gone crazy. Then outside of the office, Peter sits listening as Jonah tells Ben to go on and see what the good doctor has to say. Later that night, Otto Octavius sits in an office talking to himself. He knows what happened. It's all his fault. He paid him to give him his secrets from Norman, and when he ran out of uses for him, he tried to get rid of him. The only problem is, Otto Octavius doesn't know who he is. Otto shouts that he should have made sure that he was dead because now he's going to make him pay for what he has done to him. The next day, Peter heads over to work, but while on his way there, he catches the TV showing off Kraven the Hunter. Kraven tells everyone that he and his TV show are coming from Australia.
Kraven the Hunter? Bro looks more like a cowboy than a hunter. That's actually crazy.
All the way over to America to film his show. He has a big surprise for everyone, but he isn't going to be making the announcement of what it is until he reaches the States. A little while later, Peter overhears some of the workers talking about a breaking story about some man with mechanical arms climbing hammer towers and trying to break in. Peter begins to think about it for a moment, and then he remembers back to when he was at Norman Osborn's facility and he met Otto Octavius, an individual who used a device that had mechanical arms attached to it. After getting off of work, Peter suits up and heads over to Hammer Towers to find out what's going on. And he finds just Justin Hammer speaking with 2 S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. They ask Justin Hammer if he knows who Dr. Otto Octavius is, and Justin tells them no. But the agents look at him and Justin says that he just met him. Agent Carter then says that Colonel Fury would need a better answer than that. Carter then goes on to explain how Otto was fused with the machine that gave him mechanical arms, but the explosion at Norman's plant left him with amnesia, and he seems to have come here for something. After they talk for a little while, Justin notices something in the window and he sees Spider-Man's head. The 2 agents spin around firing their blasters, barely missing Spider-Man, and Spider-Man figures that it might be a—
Damn! With the way he's melting that concrete, bro. Like, yeah. That dude was gonna get seared. Like, his guts melting out of his suit. That's actually crazy.
As good a time as any to leave. The next morning, Kraven the Hunter's plane touches down in New York while his fans and reporters gather around to find out what his big announcement is. One reporter runs up telling him the world wants to know what he's going to be hunting in New York of all places, that he couldn't be hunting anywhere else. Kraven smiles, stating, "I'm here to hunt a very special kind of species. I'm here to hunt the one that they call Spider-Man." The reporter then asks, what's he going to do when he finds Spider-Man? And Kraven tells him, "I'm going to kill him with my bare hands." While Kraven makes his announcement, Peter watches back home, trying to figure out what he's going to do now. He's at Kraven the Hunter, a guy who's known for hunting down things and killing them chasing him. A week later, he heads to school and begins his social studies class when Gwen Stacy is let back into the classroom. She tells everyone that she's sorry for pulling a knife and doesn't want anyone to think of her as a crazy girl. But one thing that she does want to say is that she doesn't like bullies. Gwen takes her seat and the teacher says that they're going to the school assembly in about 10 minutes. But if they have any questions regarding—
Why are you making Gwen apologize? If anything, you should be making that senior that was held back 14 times apologize for kicking Peter. I don't see— Alright.
Their superhero project, now is the time to ask. One of the girls says that she feels like the assignment is a bad idea. This is supposed to be a social studies class, not a superhero dress-up class. Not long ago, the school was attacked by a mutant. Now they're supposed to dress up as one? The teacher says that the assignment is supposed to help them study the environment from a different perspective. And the girl responds with, it doesn't matter. She talked to her mother, and she will be bringing it up in the next PTA meeting, because mutant things shouldn't even be in a classroom. The teacher turns around—
You hear that shit, bro?
Asking if anyone else feels the same way, and Gwen smiles and raises her hand. Meanwhile, over in New York City, Justin Hammer heads out of his press conference while speaking with one of the scientists from his New Jersey facility. Justin tells him that they're going to need some major firepower. He needs to back up right away. The scientist states that their experiments are going smoothly and on track, but currently their subject, Flint Marco, is still adjusting to the experiments. A screen then changes to a man squirming in sand and screaming. Justin asks what the hell was that, and the scientist says that that's Flint and the Sandman Project. The scientist—
Damn, everybody's, Damn, everybody, we're getting so many reveals this episode.
Just then goes on to ask why he doesn't just accept the assistance of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Justin tells him that he will not, mainly because they're going to look around his facilities and they will find that he's in violation of the superhero test ban. That and how Otto Octavius was an industrial spy for him and that was sent over to Osborn Industries, and now believes that this explosion was somehow Justin Hammer's fault. A short while later, Justin arrives at the conference where he's about to announce the Energy Dome Project, a power plant offering an abundance of affordable and alternative energy sources. As he takes the stage, he explains that they are currently unveiling a groundbreaking energy technology with a hybrid of solar, electric, and nuclear energies. But as the announcement goes on, the video feed from the dome shows the scientists being attacked by Otto Octavius. Back at the school, the students all gather around for the assembly where the principal announces that they've all been brought here today to be informed that the school has been chosen to be the filming site for the Kraven the Hunter show. But as he goes on explaining the do's and the don'ts, he's told that there has been some trouble in the city, and the school is—
Why would the school approve some shit like this? Why would a school allow a hunter that plans to kill a person on their premises? Dumbass shit, bro.
Is currently being placed under a lockdown. While the students all begin to panic, Mary Jane looks at Peter and tells him the school is currently—
And I got another question. Why are there so many bald kids at the school? Why are there so many bald kids at the school? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're not even counting all those other people in the background. 5, there's another one. Let me know how many bald people are in this scene.
being placed—
Look, this guy doesn't even have a face. Damn artists, damn writers, damn artists, bro.
under a lockdown. While the students all begin to panic, Mary Jane looks at Peter and tells him to go. Over at the dome, the police begin to arrive by helicopter, but one of the pilots tells the other that he may have a stowaway. The second pilot asks, what does he mean? And they both realize that hanging from a web, Spider-Man says that this idea was so much better in theory. One of the officers attempts to shoot Spider-Man and he tells them to please stop, I'm trying to help. Then he swings, dodging the gunfire, and as he releases and crashes into the facility, he gets up yelling, ta-da! And then he sees Otto Octavius releases and crashes into the facility. He gets up yelling,
damn! Zesty, I suppose. But anyway, that does look cool.
ta-da! And then he sees Otto Octavius standing there with a dead scientist. We're about to see.
Damn! This story's starting to pick up. But I'm really enjoying this series so far. Well, Spider Society, thank you so much for watching this video. If you could, please like this video through. And if you could, replay this video over again, because we just hit 40 hours watch time. My goal by the end of the month is to reach 100. So please guys, if you could, make sure to like, comment, and turn that bell notification on. And yes, Spider Society, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.